It's crazy, like when I first started out this journey, this goal of hitting 10k a month seemed like it was so far away, and now I've actually hit it for the second time. This month in total I made around 6k in recurring revenue, which is automatic payments that come in through clients. I have one client that pays me into my bank account or my business bank account every single month, and that's £1,000. So total monthly I've got £7,000 recurring right now. Now obviously with Stripe fees and stuff like that, that brings the total down to around 6.8k in revenue. And then I've also got some other revenue that came in as well. I have a previous client that I've worked with for many years now, and they wanted to basically improve the rankings of their website, so that was an additional 2.5k project. And then a client that I'm already working with right now, they wanted to kind of speed up how quickly things were moving, so that was also a 2.5k project. So total of 11.8k, which is what I made this month, which is crazy to even say. The first 10k a month that I had was back in February 2024 when I was in Thailand, and since then my revenue has declined, and it's gone down, it's gone up. It hasn't been like this steady thing. So what are the lessons that I've learned from embarking on this journey nearly 8 years ago now, and what are some things that I wish I had known sooner to be able to speed up my journey and get to this point much more quickly? If anything I say in this video resonates with any of you and helps you actually speed up your journey, then I'm happy I made this video. And of course, for the purposes of documenting my journey as well, I always want to give updates like this along the way. So 3 things that I wish I had known. I'm going to keep it simple. These 3 are probably the biggest. The number 1 thing is consistency, and probably heard this so many times before. The reality is, like, if you're not consistent, if you just show up once or twice and then that's it, it's not going to build momentum, and you're not going to actually see the results from that work. So back in the day, and you can go back on this channel and see, I would actually take action, you know. I would actually do the work, but I wasn't consistent with it. That's the problem. I would make cold calls for a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then I would stop, and then I would continue doing it for a week, and then I would stop. It doesn't work like that. When you aren't consistent, what happens is you're not able to build momentum, and momentum is such a powerful thing, which is the second kind of thing that I learned. When you start something, it could be cold calling, it could be DMing people on Instagram, it could be emailing clients, which is what I predominantly do. When you start doing something like that and you start taking action, you're not going to see the result straight away, because you have to reach out to hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, to begin to see some sort of traction taking place. Because the reality is, right, no matter how good your offer is, no matter how good your emails are or your outreach is, it's still going to be a numbers game. It's still going to be a small percentage of the people who you reach out to who are going to be interested. So it takes time to build that up. So consistency and then understanding the power of momentum is actually going to help you be consistent. When I left the UK in 2023 and I started my outreach process, I didn't see any clients until August 2024 or August 2023. From March 2023 to August 2023, I was doing outreach, and again, starting from March, April, I wasn't consistent, but then after those couple months, I started being consistent, and it took me 6 months to get my first few clients. And it's just the power of momentum. Like, I don't know how that works. I guess it's kind of like to do with the law of averages or something like that. If you reach out to enough people, you're gonna get clients. It's just a fact. The difficult part is actually believing that, which once you experience it for the first time, you have more belief in that principle. And the second hardest part is actually not convincing yourself that it's not working. Because I was reaching out to people via email, and I wasn't getting any clients. So I was starting to lose hope. I was saying, you know, this isn't going to work. It's already been multiple months at this point. I've reached out to hundreds of people. What's going on? What you need to understand is that it's going to work. It's just a matter of time if you stay consistent. And one thing I was going to say, which I forgot now, but I'll come back to it. I'll move on to the third principle, which is volume. In order to get to the point where I've generated over $100,000 in revenue over the past 18 months, I've literally sent out thousands of emails over the last 18 months. It's been probably closer to 11,000. And that might sound like a lot, but I'm actually not even doing that much volume, which sounds crazy. I'm planning on, you know, significantly increasing that volume this year, next month actually, and from there just scale it up even more, because I understand the power of momentum now. Right now I'm getting, oh, this is what I was gonna say. So when you're sending out emails or you're doing any kind of outreach, you need to look at some key metrics. Like, for example, out of the outreach you're doing, how many people are opening your emails? How many people are clicking the link if you have a link in the email? Or how many people are raising their hand and saying, I'm interested in what you have to offer? If you track those metrics, as well as the number of people that are booking meetings as well, what percentage, as long as people are opening your emails, as long as they're saying they're interested, or as long as they're booking meetings, you're moving in the right direction. It took me multiple sales calls before I dialed in my sales process, and my close rate increased from like 0 to, right now it's at around between 30 to 40%. I'm closing deals at that kind of rate. So out of 10 clients that I speak to, I'll end up, you know, bringing on at least 3 or 4 of them, which is not bad. It could definitely be better, but it's much better than 0, which is where I started out. So the last thing is, volume. Going back to the volume principle, you just have to do big numbers. Like, it's literally just a numbers game. Like, everything in life is literally just a numbers game. The more you kind of are in business, and the more you struggle, the more you're gonna realize it's just a numbers game. Like, if there's not enough leads coming in, I just need to increase my input, my output, or my input rather. By the way, one of my goals is to be able to actually speak to the camera directly without stuttering and saying, all this kind of stuff. So this is good practice as well. It's one take. I'm not gonna edit this. I'm not gonna make any kind of changes to this. I'm just gonna put it out the way it is, and then I can track my progress with speaking over time as well. So with that being said, volume. If you're not getting the results you want to get with outreach right now, it's because you're just not doing enough. If you're reaching out to hundreds or thousands of people every single month or every single quarter and you're not getting any clients, then it could be down to your sales process. If you're not getting any meetings, then it's down to what you're offering in the initial email, what your pitch is. And if you're not getting people opening up your emails or responding in any kind of way, then obviously you need to work on your messaging and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, it's crazy to have had another 10K month this month. Like I said, the last one I had was back in February 2024 when I was in Thailand. And yeah, I mean, like, because once you, also this is kind of like a bonus thing, a bonus lesson. Once you hit that 10K a month number, like, I know it's possible now. I actually know it internally, like on a deep rooted level, that it is actually possible to make 10K in a month. When I first started out, it was kind of like a dream. It wasn't real. It was kind of in my mind. I had the vision, but obviously I had never experienced it firsthand. So I think once you get to that stage and you hit that revenue number or that profit number, whatever you want to hit, whatever your target is, your baseline kind of changes. You're like, okay, this is the new standard. How do I now increase that and go even further and make a bigger jump? And yeah, that's exactly what I'm planning to do this year. So if you want to follow along on my journey, please feel free to do so. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let me know if I've I don't think I've said anything that you haven't heard before. Like, this is the reality. Most things that are obvious, like, it's so difficult to actually have the knowledge and to implement it. And I heard this saying once, which is, if you know something but you're not doing it, then you don't really know it. So it's hearing the same thing over and over again isn't actually a bad thing, because it just reinforces in your mind principles that are essentially the truth. Like, if you stick to these principles, you will win. So with that being said, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one.